General Manager of the Dominica Air and Seaport Authority, Benwa Badwell, says regulations are in place to ensure that sea and aircraft who come into the island meet with safety requirements. Badwell says DASPA needs to safeguard acts of unlawful interferences, both from the standpoint of the sea and airports.
There are regulations that govern the movement of persons and cargo within those ports, which are international obligations which we as a country have signed on to. And in relation to the seaports, it is the International Ship and Port Facility Security Code, commonly called the ISPS. And with regards to the airport, it is the Annex 17, which is the set of guidelines which is provided, which gives all the international standards and recommended practices as it relates to security in civil aviation. And so the task that we have to perform is to ensure that there is the safety and security for those persons utilizing those facilities, and that every ship, every aircraft that comes to our shores meets with those requirements, and every ship and every aircraft leaving Dominica also meets with the requirements for ensuring that it can conduct safe passage through other ports. So in effect, we are challenged in terms of we have a major contribution to play as it relates to security, both from a standpoint of the seaport and the airport. And in so doing, we have to train our persons in special skills in relation to screening passengers, screening cargo, and ensuring that those persons who utilize the port only do so in keeping with the regulations that have to be enforced.
And as General Manager of the Dominica Air and Seaport Authority, Benwa Badwell, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Tourism, Esther Thomas, says government is working closely with the Ministry of National Security in that regard.
The Ministry of Tourism has the policy directive, has to ensure that we have the necessary policies in place to govern and guide the development of the industry. Some of it does not start initially, does not depend on us bringing it forward, but we have a role to play ensuring that we collaborate, we bring to the attention. So for instance, matters pertaining to safety and security of visitors, we would ensure that we bring the issues to the attention of the relevant ministry. And one of the ministries that we work closely with is the Ministry of National Security, and by extension that involves critically the police. And we ensure that they are cognizant of the necessary measures, mechanisms that must be put in place to ensure that all visitors are safe and secure when they come to the destination.
And as Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Tourism, Esther Thomas, and Corporal Jefferson Matthew from the Dominica Police Force says several safety measures have been put in place to protect the tourism sector.
The police department has empowered safety measures in regards to tourism. We have ensured that we have uniform patrols, plainclothes patrols. You have the drug squad is always on patrol. The criminal investigation department, we have persons who are posted in uniform on the points. And we also have patrols, especially in the Mero area, the Emerald Pool area where we know that vagrants would normally interfere with the tourists. But as I said earlier on, the role of the police is protection of life and property, crime detection, and apprehension and prosecution of offense. We are challenged in that we operate with limited resources. Limited resources in terms of human resource and material resource. We are requesting additional persons to reinforce the present deployment that we have in relation to tourism. On the sites, one of the measures I would really want to see implemented on the sites is that I believe some of the bus drivers could be given that opportunity to accompany the tourists to the sites. They are trained, and I believe they should be given the opportunity to accompany the tourists, the visitors, to the sites.
Corporal Jefferson Matthew, they were speaking on the weekly Talking Tourism program aired on Kairi FM. The government of Dominica has approved the Marriage Amendments Act in an effort to establish Dominica as a premier wedding and honeymoon destination in the Caribbean. Minister for Community Development, Social Services and Gender Affairs, Gloria Shillingford, told the official opening of the wedding and honeymoon workshop at the Fort Young Hotel Monday that the present system for processing the marriage license application requires a review and modernization.
We at the Ministry of Social Services, Community Development and Gender Affairs are certainly very happy to collaborate with the Discover Dominica Authority and the Ministry of Tourism and Legal Affairs in an effort to establish Dominica as the premier wedding and honeymoon destination in the Caribbean, if not the world, and to reap some of the numerous benefits to be derived from this. I strongly agree, however, that the present system of processing the marriage license application requires review and modernization. It is definitely extremely cumbersome and time-consuming. There is need for expediency in the processing of marriage license applications if we are to compete with other destinations, and this is not what obtains at the present. Having said this, however, I am happy to inform you that efforts are being made to address these concerns, and we are at the stage where Cabinet has approved amendments to the Marriage Act. These amendments, it is hoped, will greatly expedite the process and help place Dominica at the forefront as a wedding and honeymoon destination.
She says over 40 marriage licenses has been approved since taking up the office of Minister for Community Development, Social Services and Gender Affairs.
We will all agree that Dominica has great potential in the area of nature or ecotourism, and that this type of tourism is becoming extremely appealing to tourists from North America and Europe. I am even more convinced after listening this morning to the information that Dominica was chosen as one of the top 10 eco destinations, as I dare say, not just top 10 in the Caribbean, maybe top 10 in the world. That is the beauty of our country. Indeed, the destination wedding and honeymoon market has become a growth market around the world, and more countries in Europe and the Caribbean are becoming involved. In the short time that I have been Minister for Social Services, Community Development and Gender Affairs Minister, I have had occasion to approve 40 license applications, and this has impressed upon me the revenue earning possibilities for Dominica if it is effectively marketed as an ideal wedding and honeymoon destination.
Minister for Community Development, Social Services and Gender Affairs, Gloria Shillingford. Leader of the Dominica Freedom Party, Judith Pestana, says the public needs to be advised on the legal position that allows a by-election. Her views come after leader of the UWP, Ron Green, told the People's Parliament Tuesday night in Salisbury that his party will boycott the next sitting of Parliament on April 29th. If the UWP does not attend Parliament at the next sitting, it could pave the way for by-elections in Dominica.
I understand the opposition, that is the UWP, will continue to boycott the Parliament. Now, as far as the Freedom Party is concerned, this is very unclear in terms of what is the legal position. Are they really able to be suspended or their seats declared vacant because they have not presented themselves to the House by taking an oath, or are they the parliamentary representatives once they have won their seats? I think we need to be advised on this because it is very unclear. Some schools of thought say one thing and another school of thought says the other. So as far as the Freedom Party is concerned, we really need to have this clarified. We are not sure what is the position in terms of the legal position.